Welcome back, everyone, to Lore of the Shadow, where today we are back here in Guathrindath with Leglamel, where we are about to find out what she expects us to do now.
We must keep our foes from Guathrindath, or all is lost.
The nameless creatures in the depths of the earth are not to be trifled with, but still Mazak insists on attempting to enslave them. There can be no doubt that the hand of Dol Guldur is causing him to try this foolish course, but I have no pity for him. These creatures are deadly, and they approach Guathrindath more closely with each passing hour. And still Magor does not return. This is not like him to be so tardy. Were he not so strong, I'd be worried. But Magor trained with Celeborn in the elder days and can take care of himself. There are cracks in the earth and not far from Guathrindath. Place these barrels in front of the cracks to dissuade the nameless from approaching the cracks. How does a barrel keep them out? The nameless are allergic to beryllium. That's it. Here is one of the cracks right over here, just across from the cave. Now, I'm not too sure how effective this is going to be because let's say the nameless stayed away from this area here. Does that mean that they'll try to skirt around this way right by the cave entrance? Well, I don't know, but I'm hoping that it keeps them from going past that point in the first place. Though with all the elves patrolling that area, I'm not too sure how they're going to get by it all. Now, where is the second crack? Around here, up around here, up around here. Begin to wonder. Oh, here it is. For a moment there I thought, did I completely miss it somehow? Nah. There we go. And now for the third one. That should be right across this way. Most likely we'll be running into a nasty creature or two along the way. So let's see. Speaking of nasty creatures, there's one of them right now. And there we have. Oh. The third location. Okay, let's crow the troll. Oh. I guess he decided, alright, who sent those birds out here? There you go. Now let's go right over here. That's our third one. And now we can return. Ooh. A mirror. Full of fungus. This mirror stands alone in the terrible corrupted mire of passages. With the fungus creeping around it, you should tell someone in the shadowed refuge of the mirror that you found in the deeps. Speak to Drofli. A glimmer of hope? Let's see about that. Hey, I found this mirror.
Welcome to Khazad-dûm.
My thanks. It won't be long before something or the other decides to fiddle with it again, I'm sure, but the time being is just a bit brighter down here, don't you think? Well, it's always nice when it's a bit brighter down here because it's otherwise quite gloomy. Here. Well, that's right. Wasn't I thinking about heading over to the waterworks in order to get that class quest? I think I better head over to it. But right now I am back here at the Shadowed Refuge. So let me speak to the elves first. Gems deployed.
The light of Iarendil's star brings hope even to this darkness.
You've done what you could, Pine Lord, but where the nameless are concerned, I hope only that it will be enough. Wonderful. Simply wonderful.
We must find Mithrandir, if he yet lives.
Mithrandir. Right. When first we arrived here in the Foundations of Stone, we did so at the request of Lady Galadriel, and had one primary objective: to learn what fate befell Mithrandir, the great pilgrim, in these very depths. Yes, I speak of Gandalf. He passed into the shadow of the abyss, and it was the hope of the lady that he might be found, and found safe. The elf Magor sought him for many days, but found no sign. Magor still hasn't returned, and I'm beginning to worry. There are two places that I would have you search for signs of either Mithrandir or Magor: the top of the bottom of the Endless Stair and the Black Lake. When you have searched both these places, I hope that you will find some sign of either the wizard or Magor. Right. The Black Lake or the Endless Stair. Wonderful. Simply wonderful. Well then, I guess we'll take care of the lake first. There's the lake right down over there. And I just have to swim it. Yes, this wonderful, beautiful green lake. I mean, what could possibly be foul about this? I mean, just because the inhabitants of the area are turning into fungus-filled monsters doesn't mean that there's anything bad with the water, right? And this green don't even think about the green color. I'm pretty sure that it's not lime-flavored Kool-Aid or anything like that. I have discovered the bridge shard. Right. Well, I don't think the bridge is going to work very well if the shard of a bridge is all the way down here. Well, I can't really look up properly, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately. Ah, a hat! What's a hat doing here? This hat is burned and ashen, but it certainly once belonged to Gandalf the Grey. Wonderful. I kept track of Gandalf's hats, apparently. Well now, to the stairs! Welcome to the Endless Stair. That doesn't exactly fill me with warm, fuzzy feelings. Hobbits aren't exactly known for their liking of stairs. And the word endless on top of it, well, let's just hope that it's hyperbole. They said to the top part of the bottom part. Or the top of the bottom. Whatever. Does that mean that I'll have a sign saying that this is the top of the bottom part? Don't worry, you don't have to go all the way up to the top of the mountain, which is probably as high as the stair could possibly go, regardless of what they call it. If you consider how old this stair must be, then it's in incredibly good shape, I would say, for a structure that's been around this long. I mean, we're talking about a great legendary location, and I've seen a couple occasional debris here, such as at this place, but other than that, it's in pretty good well, maybe there are some one or two flaws in it, but obviously that's as high as I'm going to go, and that's probably about as high as this hobbit wishes to go. The rubble is burned and broken and blocks further passage up the stairs. Well, this rubble, it doesn't block further passage. I think it's the non-existence of the rest of the stair. Unless they're saying that this is the rubble they're talking about, and that was just a turn. Well, maybe. Whatever. Now, I will report back, but first I'm going to go via the waterworks. She couldn't have been waiting at some place more convenient, could she? Hello.
What can I do for you?
Ah, Pinelore! How good to see you. I trust I was not difficult to find? I understand that you have come to a point in your studies that will require more aggressive research in order to better your skills. I believe I know just the thing to help you on your way. Come, let us speak further on how we can help each other more aggressively study.
Might I take a moment of your time?
Yes, it is good that you've come to me. I see in your eyes the hunger for knowledge that drove me to greater pursuits in ages long past. Here in the waterworks, it's easy to find odd bits of dwarf knowledge, thought lost through the ages. If you're up to the task, I would have you gather some of these texts and bring them to me. It's likely that we'll both end up learning a great deal together. Your search should focus upon the larger buildings of the waterworks, as well as any large gatherings of foul creatures here. Return to me when you have found a significant amount of material for us to study. So I need collect lore fragments and to find them in larger buildings of the waterworks and large gatherings of foul creatures. You mean like the Globsnaga? Yuck. Swartgut. Oh, a rare normal? It's so strange running into rare normals. I'm usually used to running into rare signatures or rare elites, but rare normals? Well, a mithril flake's a mithril flake, meaning not worth all that much these days. Ah! I found the Globsnaga. Good. Another trip here. Now, supposedly I'm supposed to be finding lore fragments over here. I guess we'll find. Now, are these things I'm going to be finding on the floor, or are these things that are going to be dropped by mobs? I suppose I'll find out in a moment. Yeah, it's been a few years since I've done this quest. Well, it's obviously not a common drop if it's a drop, but I think I see something glowing up ahead, so I think it's... I was a little hopeful at first that it might be a drop, but then I remembered we have these things. So that means that I'm going to have to go into those big buildings that were mentioned earlier. In fact, I think this is going to send me to a lot of the same places that I visited when I was looking for all those plaques that led up to the drowned treasury. But unfortunately, I wasn't high enough level at the time to have this quest. And so I'm going through here all over again, I presume. Oh, hello. Actually, that might mean that I'll have to go into that big building over there. I'm supposed to see. That's 3 of them. Looks like I'm going to clear these folk out again. At least the fact that I am a few levels above them means that I can get through them quickly. Thank goodness for small blessings, I guess. Here we go. Oh. There you go. And there you go. Hey, I don't need to be in combat anymore. But apparently the game disagrees with me on that score. Oh! Of course. They just can't get around the fungus quickly enough. Now, looks like the next bit is this way. How far away? Supposedly, there's also some up this way. I will presume up the stairs that we went up in order to find that hall last time. Hey, you. back up here again. At least this time I don't have to worry about trying to keep the creatures alive so that I can have something to kill on the way back down. Which is probably fortunate because in this case I seem to have fully hostile creatures instead of all those lizards I had last time. I guess I got rid of all the lizards and something came by to take its place. Figures. Get rid of one pest and a worse one comes to replace it. There we go. Goodbye, worms. Yep, here's one right at the top of this stairway, or ramp, or whatever that is. Ancient dwarf text. Okay, that's 5 of them. Oh, hold on, there's one on the other side of this? Must admit, I would have completely missed that. And that is 6 of them. I'm halfway there. Now let's see what's in this hall. I hope not just more lizards that'll come out and attack me. We'll have a Balrog. Durin's Bane is here. And okay. Here's the text. Number 7. And I think number 8 then is going to be on the other side. That will certainly follow the pattern. Now, how these pieces of I guess maybe they're fragments of lore that have been scattered all over the place, one reason or the other. And I just didn't notice them before, but now, suddenly, I do. Now it looks like the other side of the waterworks. Now I have arrived at this monstrosity of a place that I have managed to ignore so far, because the epic doesn't take you in here. But some side quests that I have skipped in the waterworks certainly do. And I suspect that this is where I'm going to find the last of these. I think a vague memory pings in my mind from long ago, the last time that I've done this quest. Then I shall find some ancient texts up here amongst the Great Wheel. And it looks like I also find some Globsnaga here. Well, if they're Globsnaga here, they're probably going to be texts here, right? Maybe they've been reading them. Maybe that's what attracted them to the area. I don't know. But there is this question: is what language are these ancient texts written in? And how well do lore masters usually understand the dwarven written language? I mean, it's certainly probably not something that is commonly known amongst most people because the language is notoriously secretive, and the fact that it's down here sort of increases highly the possibility that it is written in a dwarven language rather than something that the elves would be used to. Let's see, what else have we got here? That's one of them. I think there might also be some inside, but I want to guess that there are at least 2. Oh, how am I missing all these skirmishers? It's got to be at least the second one that I just walked right by and suddenly found myself in combat. Well, number 2. Are there 2 more out here, or am I going to need to go inside? Well, I have an arrow pointing this way, so I want to assume that that arrow is in some way correct. And in fact, I see text number 3 here. Okay, that's 3. Oh, this time it's a brawler that I meant. those Globsnackers they just know how to blend into the... Actually, they do tend to be hard to see. You know, once you know where to look, yeah, of course they're there, but if you're rushing through here, they seem to be picking rather good ambush spots, I think. On the other side of the door? Oh no, actually there is. I don't need to go inside. Here's the last one. Whee! Now back to the rotting cellar. I am trying to think if there's a more annoying location to reach within Moria than the rotting cellar or the waterworks in general, because I really can't think of anything. But what do you think about this, Winiel? Did you intentionally place yourself in the most annoying spot to give a test to lore masters?
What can I do for you?
Ah, well done. These will prove most valuable in the days to come. We must move on to your next task, for we have little time to lose. What are you going to do now? Send me into the rift?
Stay a moment.
A stranger mentioned a rift. No, I'm not sending you there. The dwarves use our Cirth, though I understand they use some letters to represent different sounds, but these fragments that you brought to me are all but unintelligible to my eyes. Oh, so they are written in the dwarven tongue. I guess that answers that question. If anyone could decipher these, it would be Mirwen. Her knowledge of ancient writings is unparalleled. Take these to Rivendell and look for her there. She's an ever-vigilant student and so spends most of her time in the library. Start your search there. Yes, and before I go, because it's 100 times easier to reach the 21st Hall than this place, I should do what I should have done when I first arrived here. Now I head to Rivendell, where you'll find me in the next episode of Lore of the Shadow.